Benny. I'm a big fan of deportations, especially for people that don't belong here, criminals, and so on. Over 1.3 million deportations or self-deportations have happened in America since President Trump took office. And, well, according to DHS, they want to have 10 million deportations by the end of President Trump's first term. That would be awesome, and we'd like to pay attention to all of those. We really like the celebrity deportations, for instance, Rosie O'Donnell, Ellen DeGeneres. And here's another celebrity deportation, even though it's not from America, it's from Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, Greta Thunberg has been deported again. Now, what the hell do I care? I think it's just kind of funny. You know my take on the war in Ukraine, the war with Russia, the war in Gaza, Palestine, Israel, whatever. I freaking hate it. The reason I hate it is because whenever there's a war and America has an ally there, you know, whatever the hell Ukraine is, right? And whatever you want to think of Israel, the reality is that America gets drawn into those wars. My entire life, I'm in my late 30s. My entire life, America has been in forever wars. They've depleted all of our treasure. I freaking hate them. And I want these wars to end, okay? So that's my take on it, and I've said it a million times. But I can still laugh at the fact that Greta keeps sailing some billionaire's yacht over to Gaza, even though she has absolutely no discernible talent or skill to provide to the people of Gaza. She's not a farmer. She's not a doctor. She's not a builder. She wouldn't be able to assist in anything other than TikTok. I mean, can people in Gaza eat TikTok? And she keeps getting intercepted, by the Israeli Navy that has blockaded Gaza. How stupid are you? They are really stupid. And then she gets deported. Greta arrives in Greece. Greta is given a hero's welcome by a crowd cheering Free Palestine as she arrives in Greece after being deported by Israel. She claims that she was dragged by her hair and beaten by the IDF. Well, maybe don't sail into a war zone. I don't know if that happened. They've lied the whole time about how they get treated in Israel. And then, of course, Greta Thunberg sitting there, like, looking at her sandwich. Sure doesn't look like it's that bad. I mean, listen, everyone's seen photos of Gaza, so we know what they're capable of. This don't look that bad. It looks like she's like sitting on some life jackets here. Let's read. I mean, this looks just like a college dorm room, right? It's gross. At Columbia University or something like that. Not an actual functional college, but nonetheless, environmentalist activist Greta Thunberg. She's an environmental activist. Like, I'm not going to stop every second, but like, she's an environmental activist, but she's sailing in a sailboat yacht, but she's not sailing. They're using their massive diesel powered engines in order to pump. They're like dumping fuel into the Mediterranean as they boat. If you were an environmental activist, why aren't you using the sailboat function of your sailboat? It's almost like there's a more efficient way that we've discovered in the last 250 years to get around the water. Greta Thunberg now is also being boarded onto a plane. She got put on a plane. Remember when Greta Thunberg said she wouldn't fly anywhere because it would put CO2 into the environment? Well, now she's found something better than that. It's amazing, these people. They're so fraudulent. Let's continue. Thunberg, who's 22, was one of 70 activists. Lawyers and journalists. Well, that's what we need. That's what Gaza needs. If I was in Gaza and I was starving and my house was getting bombed every second of every day, everyone around me was hurt and broken bones, what I would want is some activists. You know what I'd be calling for? More lawyers and activists and journalists. Please come here and save me. That's who can save me. The activists. Like, has anybody got a doctor? How about a farmer? How about somebody who can like build a building or do anything? Like a bricklayer? Like, a bricklayer is more useful than Greta, for sure. Right? Anyway, they were deported from Israel after their yachts got intercepted. She landed in Athens International Airport, awaiting crowds of hundreds who cheered. Long live the flotilla. She walked through holding flowers. She's such a hero. Such a hero. Look at these fake activists. Look, what the hell is this? Who are these people? You can look at the dead. Look at the dead eyes, you know? You can tell there's nothing going on there. Who the hell are these people? Gross. The biggest ever attempt to break Israel's illegal and inhumane siege by the Shia. The mission still has to exist. Is a shame, she said. Israel's genocide of Palestinians. We're not seeing the bare minimum from our government. Some fellow activists who are detained on the international waters by Israeli troops claim to have suffered a spate of abuse, ranging from sleep and medication deprivation to beatings to having automatic rifles pointing in their heads. Well, you know, you did sail into an active war zone. Like, whatever you think of it, there's no denying it's an active war zone. You know, it's also an active war zone is like the Mexico-American border. And I don't want to go there either. And I think that, like, we should be allowed to, obviously, you know, I think we should do military attacks on the cartels, quite frankly. Because, like, they're also a terrorist organization that we share a border with. So, just my thoughts. But, like, really? Did they give Greta a haircut? Whatever happened to the 12th century peasant farmer haircut? So the Israelis went and they cut Greta's hair? Really? And they gave her this little outfit, this little jumpsuit to wear? Fascinating. Greta Thunberg has been deported. Here she is. I just can't get over it. I can't get over how useless. How's he useless? Look at this. Look at the it looks like she's being tortured here. It looks like she's getting a tan. Like, just the torture. Look, the torture. She's being given water bottles, a bed. How annoying. They're just annoying. Could you imagine being part of the Israeli military and just how annoying they would be? The activists were deported to Greece and Slovakia. Greta Thunberg, who was assaulted, forced to kiss the Israeli flag, and denied food, water, and sleep. She was held in a filthy, insect-infested cell. The same cells Palestinian detainees are kept in while they're being tortured. Images were shared by Israel's MFA before deportation. So here they are before they're being deported. Any proof of this? You know what I mean? Okay. Any proof? Here's what the Israeli Foreign Ministry says. 171 provocateurs from Hamas-funded flotilla, including Greta Thunberg, were deported today from Israel. The deportees were citizens of Greece, Italy, France, Ireland, Sweden, Poland, Germany, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Austria, Luxembourg, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Serbia, and the United States. Damn it! Damn it! We got one in there? That sucks. Deport them. Can you just deport them? Can we strip them of citizenship? All legal rights of the participants in the PR stunt were and will continue to be fully upheld. The lies they are spreading are part of a pre-planned fake news campaign. Only violent incident came from Hamas provocateur who bit a female medical staff member. Don't believe the fake news that they are spreading attaches photos of Greta and their PR stunt before being deported. I mean, I have a feeling they'd probably have proof of this kind of stuff, right? Say whatever you want about Israel, but it is a first world nation, and I just doubt they were in some type of torture dungeon. Really? Globetrotting climate activists will rack up tons of CO2 emissions, carbon footprint on her flight. Greta Thunberg is the biggest useful idiot in the world. Look, it's her and torture or whatever. I'm not trying to give anyone the benefit of the doubt here. Again, you know what my take is on all this. Right? Go do whatever you want in your own sandbox. Like, leave me out of it. Leave my country out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it when America gets dragged into this stuff. She's refused to fly for years. Now she's sailing. Now she's flying every single week because she's getting deported. Celebrity activist Greta Thunberg being held in bed-bug-infested cell in Israel, sitting for long periods on hard surfaces. Oh, that's your torture? Your torture is that you sat for long periods on a hard surface? Have you ever been in public school? You ever been as bad at football as me, where you just sit on the bench the whole time? I was actually an okay football player. But nonetheless, of course we sat on hard surfaces. Sat on hard surfaces. Like, truly unbelievable. Yesterday they called me an anti-trans activist. Today they call me Greta a celebrity activist. Look at that. Celebrity activist. Greta Thunberg's court hearing for deportation. 0 complaints were made about her treatment in Israel. They're lying to you. Israel had to pay for 400 plane tickets to fly Greta and her friends home. I'm supposed to pay for these flights? That is a great question. Who pays for the deportation flights? They said they've been mistreated. The Israel Foreign Ministry, considered the source, says that they are lies. All the detainees' legal rights were fully upheld. Interestingly enough, Greta herself and other detainees refused to expedite their deportation and insisted on prolonging their stay in custody. They did not complain to the Israeli authorities about any of the ludicrous, baseless allegations because they never occurred. They said they were treated like monkeys. They had to sit on hard surfaces. Well, you sailed into an active war zone. I don't know. Like, that seems like a choice that you made. And, you know, whatever you think about it, it is what it is. Greta Thunberg, after sailing into a war zone with no humanitarian aid, getting herself arrested, and then crying that she had to sit on a hard surface. Incredible. Israeli police officer gives inside look on board one of Greta Thunberg's flotilla ships, revealing they had 0 humanitarian supplies, despite the activists claiming they were sailing to Gaza to deliver supplies. This was never about bringing aid to Gaza. It was all about the headlines and social media following. They said there's no humanitarian aid. It is kind of filthy. It's kind of what you'd expect. Greta and her friends just casually hurling electronic waste into the ocean is a perfect metaphor for the depth of their convictions. Terrorist collaborators throwing their phones overboard. They did all do this, right? It's all in the live feed. Like, take all their phones and they toss all their phones into the immaculate Mediterranean. Great. Oh man, this is a nasty, nasty little girl. I think it's funny, and I'll keep laughing at it. I think it's funny, but the funniest thing, as I've said throughout all this entire saga, is please, please, Israel, let Greta get to actual Gaza. Let Greta and her fabulous little friends get to Gaza. I want to see the way they're treated, and start the live feed, and then let's see how that goes. Let Greta and her friends get to Hamas, and then let's see what happens next. Wouldn't that be fun? Enjoy biting. Like, share, and subscribe. More deportations. See ya.